During the age described in the Celtic Ulster cycle, tales are told of the Irish Otherworld, a parallel world of different lands, home to the gods, the Tuatha De Danann. Alongside Tir na Nog, the land of the youth, the Otherworld also contains what is known as the Land of Shadows, a place for the souls of the dead to return. However, there are many souls unable to find their way, instead wandering the lands of the living. To assist these souls, particularly in the aftermath of great battles, the Irish gods elect a stoic female warrior, Scathach, to preside over the Land of Shadows from the Isle of Skye as its queen. She is of human origin, born in her homeland of Scotland, and growing to become a prodigy in spearmanship and rune magic. She is of the ruling class, fully realizing her superior demeanor. Rather than use this superiority for her own happiness, she instead dedicates herself to rule for the sake of the masses, crafting herself into a weapon to protect them. Throughout her life, she confronts all manners of fiendish opponents, from fellow men to divine beasts. By her own skills, she becomes renowned as a literal slayer of gods. In her own testimony, "Truly, I robbed many lives. A man, a wraith, a god. I've confronted many existences of a countless number, slaughtering all those near me." It is for this talent that she earns the ability to seal the gate of the Land of Shadows, to maintain control over its overflowing ghosts. There, she continues to ward off fiends, and her exposure to the Land of Shadows robs her of her human mortality. At a ripened stage of beauty and strength, Scathach is fated to neither age nor die, closed off from the world itself. With eternity at her disposal, she continues her job leading the dead to their journey to the Otherworld. In this endeavor, she is not impartial, choosing to prioritize the leading of warriors and exiling of evil spirits. In keeping up with her skills, Scathach begins to train brave warriors she deems to have potential. For this, she is known by men as the ideal instructor, and is coveted in their pursuit of fame and glory. Of course, deep down, there is a reason she goes so far in training her students. While likely impossible, she teaches them with the hope that one shall become strong enough to kill and free her from her immortality. None come closer to this than the Hound of Ireland, Cuchulainn. At the age of 16, the talented fighter is rejected by the Princess Eivir. When he comes to kidnap her, she protests to being married to a man of no fame. In an effort to appease her, Cuchulainn sets out for the Land of Shadows, seeking tutelage from Scathach. When he arrives at the Island of Skye, he discovers he must pass deadly tests, simply to gain an audience with the famed mentor. In challenging these trials, he meets other aspiring students, including Ferdiad. Eventually, they come upon a vast gorge with a tilting platform that is low on the sides and tall in the center. Stepping onto one end causes the other to rise and toss travelers off. To get across, the aspiring warriors need to jump on the platform's center and again to the other side without being thrown to the start or falling to the monster-infested waters below. While Cuchulainn rests, his peers all attempt and fail to cross the gorge. When he steps up, he makes 3 different attempts, failing each time from being ejected to the beginning. Only after a 4th leap does he reach the other side. At the end of the trials, both Cuchulainn and Ferdiad find themselves standing before Scathach, and she acknowledges their efforts by agreeing to teach them. For less than a year, Cuchulainn and Ferdiad become akin to brothers while living among Scathach's students, competing for the honor to inherit her ultimate weapon, the Gay Bolg, a spear known to alter causality to ensure it strikes the heart of its victims. Of all her students, Scathach's discerning eye finds the most potential in Cuchulainn, not simply for his physical prowess, but rather his bravery and character. She thinks, if anyone can kill her, it will be him. Thus, he is chosen as the one to inherit her Gay Bolg. She trains him to master the weapon and its techniques alongside her original runes. She shapes him into her ideal warrior, but is ultimately forced to accept reality. In a serene voice, she admits, "Perhaps I wanted to be killed by your hands. I give up. Better die before that happens. If only you were born a little earlier. Young, so young." With Cuchulainn still under her care, Scathach encounters her sister, Aoife, also hailing from Scotland. Aoife comes bearing an army and challenges Scathach, declaring war over her territory. Knowing Aoife's reputation as a fearsome warrior, Scathach fears for Cuchulainn's safety, insisting that he and Ferdiad remain while she alone goes to war. She sleeps a sleeping potion into Cuchulainn's drink, which she expects will incapacitate him for 24 hours. Instead, he recovers in a single hour and persistently joins her on the battlefield. Ultimately, she, Cuchulainn, and Ferdiad unite and cause hell together during the fight. By the end of the battle, Cuchulainn learns that Aoife cherishes her chariot and horses. When Aoife shatters his sword, he alerts that her precious chariot and its horses have fallen from a nearby cliff. In the moment when Aoife turns to check, Cuchulainn takes his opportunity to overpower her. He forces her to promise not to fight Scathach, and the conflict is resolved. Ironically, he takes a liking to Aoife and has his way with her, angering Scathach in the process, the result being a punishing beatdown. Despite her strict teachings, Scathach develops a strong, affectionate bond with her beloved pupils. She grants them friendship of the thighs, a gesture of peace between warring men and women, an acknowledgement of their shared humanity. Regardless, the time draws near for Cuchulainn and Ferdiad to leave the Land of Shadows. Scathach, with a talent for foresight, predicts Cuchulainn's premature, inevitable demise, which she accepts bravely. Having taught the two everything she can, Scathach does not see her best students off when they depart to their home countries. Instead, she wishes them on in her solitude, continuing to preside over her domain. The conception between Aoife and Cuchulainn bears fruit, a son named Connla. Unbeknownst to his father, the young boy also makes his way to Scathach, desiring to become stronger. She complies, teaching Connla in the ways of the spear, but ultimately stops short of sharing the secrets of the gay Bolg. The boy's life ends tragically, as his journey leads him to his own father. The two face off, but Connla is struck down by the technique he was never taught. Centuries pass, and the tales of Ulster grow ever distant. The Age of Gods comes to an end, and Scathach, along with the land she rules, is forced to the outside of the world, beyond the reverse side, toward Akasha itself. This woman, an immortal enigma, naturally changes into an existence akin to a divine spirit. She survives for 2,000 years, until a time where the world and its outside are in peril. When the world faces ruin, a devastating incineration during the Grand Orders, Scathach's Land of Shadows vanishes completely, and she suddenly finds herself compatible with the Throne of Heroes, despite still being alive. As a lost existence, Scathach finds purpose in being summoned through the Chaldea Security Organization as a Lancer-class heroic spirit, serving under Ritsuka Fujimaru. Having existed outside the world for thousands of years, Scathach generally refrains from interfering with the affairs of the living, feeling her own presence to be an interruption to their stories. Regardless, she can't help but take to the battlefield at times, taken in by the youthful naivete of her master. Around him, her habits as a teacher slip through as words of experience. In battle, Scathach makes use of all her talents. She uses her clairvoyance to anticipate her enemy's movements, and her runes to cast spells bolstering her spearmanship. She is particularly effective against divine and undead opponents, a result of her exploits manifesting into the skill Godslayer. She possesses two noble phantasms, the first being the Gate of Sky, gate to the magical realm brimming with death, her anti-army ability to form a vacuous portal to the Land of Shadows. It devours her opponents, draining their mana and damaging them heavily. The second is her gay bold alternative, the prototypes and alternate versions of her famous gay bold. While not being the same as the spear gifted to her student, they are of surprising strength when used in tandem during her ultimate technique, the soaring spear of piercing death. This is a two-part attack, a close-range strike, followed by a second spear hurled at pinned foes. Scathach becomes more personally involved in Chaldea's mission to the Singularity in North America because Queen Maeve begins to command an army of Celtic warriors. She makes it her goal to assist Ritska and resolve the Singularity. Most compelling, however, is that Maeve summons Cuchulainn in his alter form, a beastly and aggressive berserker whom she feels obligated to confront. As his teacher, I should be the one to collar him back again. She assists fighting various servants summoned at Maeve's behest, and ultimately takes her leave to hold off her rabid pupil. Scathach feels it almost dreamlike to have to kill a former student, but faces off against Cuchulainn Alter to free him from his madness. I don't feel like being killed by the current you. I liked you better the way you used to be. She struggles against a version of Cuchulainn that is deceived into desiring kingship and dominant superiority, robbed of his usual charisma and charm. The two meet each other blow for blow, their gay bolds canceling each other out. Regardless, Scathach knows she likely cannot defeat him in his current state, and attempts to draw out the gateway to the outside of the world in hopes of sending him there. Before she can open the portal, she is torn through by her opponent, who had summoned Curid Coinhen, the bones of the sea monster used to forge the gay bold, as armor. Injured, she instead uses the portal to make an escape. In the void, she crudely patches her body, despite missing most of her internal organs. While too weak to consider confronting her student again, Scathach finds a different enemy servant, the legendary Chinese martial artist Li Xuan. Li Xuan, with the title of Divine Spear, yearns to test his mettle against her, and she agrees to face him if he first goes back and assists her master. His passion for this duel motivates him, and in the end, he helps in defeating Maeve's forces. Honoring her word, Scathach accepts Li Xuan's challenge, insisting they should each duel with a single decisive strike, knowing full well of Li Xuan's famed one-hit kill technique. They prepare their best attacks, but their battle goes unwitnessed, the victor unannounced. Ultimately, the legendary queen of the Land of Shadows continues to serve as a reliable ally in the salvation of humanity, her desire to die put on hold for her master's sake. This video is brought to you in part by HelloTalk, an amazing app for learning languages through social exchange. If you've ever wanted to learn a language, perhaps Japanese, then HelloTalk may be perfect for you. As a supplement to hitting the books or taking classes, the HelloTalk app provides you efficient tools to learn by speaking directly with fluent speakers of your target language. It's a mutual exchange between yourself and partners, teaching each other through text, voice, and even video communication. It comes filled with translation tools to help the process along, offering a unique experience that formal education can't match. A ton of practical knowledge I have about Japan came from interacting with a pen pal I made online, which turned into a solid friendship of cultural exchange. With HelloTalk, getting that genuine experience is easier than ever. It's totally free for the first language, and you can get it for both iOS and Android devices. To get started, simply click the link in the top right or the link in the description below. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then go check out some of my other lore videos. It's my goal to make one of these for virtually every servant in the Nasuverse, and I would appreciate your support through that journey. The best way would be to become a patron of the channel. We offer different reward tiers, ranging from early access to the chance to suggest your very own video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to OtakuDaiKun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, let's plays, and the holy waifu wars. Until next time, celebrate your fandom.